For this episode of XCOM, we're doing a new mission type called Rescue a VIP. It's pretty simple. All we have to do is go in there. There's somebody in a vehicle. We have to get inside the vehicle and get them to the safe evacuation point. So, for these missions, I would recommend being sneaky at the beginning, which is what I'm going to do here with Trevor. He's slowly moving up, trying to figure out if there are people in the alleyway or anything, if we need to dodge. Now that I found that the alleyway is clear, moving everybody up. We're going to stick to the rooftops because, if we get into a point where we need to start ambushing people because we're surrounded, the height advantage gives us some extra aim bonuses, which will mean we will get more kills and clear this up. So we have 12 turns to finish this mission, or else we automatically lose, which seems like a lot, but in reality, it's not, because as soon as you get to the location where the VIP is and rescue them, they're going to be constantly under fire, and if they get shot, the mission loses anyway. So you have to move the VIP carefully, while also being swift in your approach of destroying the enemies. So we're mostly just sticking to these rooftops. So we gotta be really careful to not break any glass, open any doors violently, because unless you do one movement to a door and stop and then click the open door button, your character is just gonna kick right through the door. So as you see, there's like these little wave patterns that just showed up. That means that there's enemies in that general direction, meaning that the further we go that way, the more likely we are to encounter an enemy. But so long as we don't get spotted by them, we'll be fine. It won't be a big deal. So the good news for us is that the VIP location is close by to the extraction point. So that means we have to only go so far to get them out of there. Now that was close, because we almost got spotted by those troopers right there. But they're just advent troopers, so it's fine. It's like whatever. So I'm trying to keep everybody hidden, moving up to cover so that when the opportunity is right, start an ambush and wipe them all. So currently we're rolling with Jarrett, John, Trevor, and Weissbaby for this mission. Since we only have 4 slots, going to take 4 people. Everybody else is wounded too, I think. So I decided this is the point I'm going to start the assault. Right now I'm just like repositioning Trevor, trying to move him up so that he could, if possibly, join the fight, putting everybody else in Overwatch. So, John's a grenadier, obviously, and class focuses on grenades. So the good news is the grenades currently do 3 damage. Well, we can upgrade them later, but since they do 3 damage, that means we can instantly kill any advent trooper, which is super helpful. But later on in the game, you can't really do that, so you have to start using them like tactically, like destroying cover, hindering certain units, exploding like bridges and stuff like that. So it starts becoming more of like a instead of like a damaging thing, more like a oh, gotta watch out. That's weird. So anyway, this is gonna be one of the first missions that we're actually fighting 4 people at a time, since most of the time we fight them in. We usually have 6 enemies, but most of the time we fight them in groups of 2. So we'll fight 2 of them, and then we'll fight 2 of them, and then we'll fight the last 2. This time we fought 2 of them, which we instantly killed, but now we're going up against the other 4 at the same exact time. So this is where I was saying where the missions are going to get a lot harder, because now that we're fighting more enemies at the same time, we're also going to start encountering new types of enemies, and there's just going to be a whole lot more of them. So we gotta be really careful. And this is why we need to start getting like better weapons and more loot and stuff. So I have Weissbaby up here, trying to figure out what to do with him, because as you can see, we only have 8 turns left, so I kind of want to get another kill this round so that we don't have to worry about getting a kill next round. So I move him down with one action, since every character has two, putting him in high cover so he's pretty safe, and then I tell him to take a shot at the sectoid. Well, I was trying to figure out if I could throw a grenade to blow up his cover, but then I end up taking the shot. I miss, but it has the same result of me blowing up the cover, leaving Trevor, John, and Jarrett, anyone who hasn't fired yet, basically, to unleash a high amount of damage onto this single sectoid, since they're the ones we really need to look out for. The other ones, Advent Troopers only have 3 health, and then we don't have any Advent Captains, so we don't have to worry about them. Like, for now, since we have really weak weapons and stuff, we kind of have to do a priority system where we need to slowly damage the high health, high damage guys a lot over time, or all in one turn, like that. So now the sectoid is using his psionic powers, and he's resurrecting a corpse, which we've seen many times. It's probably the best of the psionic powers for us, because the corpses don't do that much damage, considering, and they have to be right on top of the player in order to hurt you. So that means that we don't have to worry about them until they get close. And also, the one thing that's kind of funny is the Advent Troopers only have 3 health, but when they die and come back, they have 5. Which is probably because, normally if you, destroy some of their organs or whatever, they're dead. But, with the thing, it's only about the chip in the brain and the psionic powers. So, as you can see, that sectoid dropped some loot earlier. So I'm trying to figure out a way to move up so I can get to that. Since, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like a good idea to move ourselves out of position just for some loot, that loot is what's going to end up making the difference for us later on in the game. We can get stuff like scopes, hair triggers. Like, scopes give us increased aim, which means we're more likely to hit. Hair triggers give us free actions. Then you have, laser sights that let you do more critical damage, like when you get a crit. And then there's my favorite type, probably, is the free autoloaders, which are so useful on snipers and grenadiers, since that is one of their biggest weaknesses, is that they have very little ammo. And wasting a turn reloading can usually mean life or death for a teammate in the later levels. So when you get autoloaders that let you reload for free 3 or 4 times, it's really good. So he's using psionic powers again. So the 3, I think, so far that I've encountered in the game, there's 3 things that a sectoid can do with its psionic powers. It can either panic a troop, or resurrect a dead troop. Either side, it doesn't have to just be admin. Or it can control one of my team's brains. I was trying to figure out what better way to word that, but that's the best way I can do it. Where it will just take over one of the troops and they'd fight us. Now, it's really weird how that works. I don't know if they shoot us or not, but they are counted as an enemy until you break the hold. So it does get pretty bad, because they will slowly start to do damage to your own team, and you can't fight them back. Now, the good news is, though, if you damage the sectoid, the bond is broken. So this sectoid is the last enemy in the map, so we don't really have to worry about anybody else. So I'm setting up Jared on the high ground in case there are more enemies, even though I already know there's not, because at the early game, 6 is the max amount of troops they send at you. So I have him on the high ground waiting to attack anybody, because they can get reinforcements though, but they probably won't. So now I'm using, since I really wanted Weiss Baby to be a healer, since that's one of the best uses of the specialist class that I found. So I sent him over to heal Trevor, since Trevor got shot. I mean, that heal ability is so good, since the player does not have to be right next to the other player. They can do it at a distance, and it doesn't, obviously, since they don't have to move, it doesn't trigger any overwatches from the enemy team, stuff like that. So it's a really good ability. So I tried to get up on this car to get the height advantage on the sectoid, but once I walked up there, he disappeared, so I just decided to walk back down, even though it was probably a waste of a move. But it's fine. I have him cornered. I have 5 turns left. It's going to be fine. So I'm constantly setting, even though Weiss Baby and Jarrett are both out of range, I keep setting them on Overwatch just in case we get attacked by something, because, you know, that's what this game is. It's like, you gotta be really careful. So we have Trevor flank the sectoid, which means he has a really good chance of hitting, and he has a chance to crit, but sadly he only does 3 damage, which is the lowest amount he can do with his gun. Except if he were to completely miss, and they did. Because there's a mechanic called dodging, which is... It happens rarely. I don't know if how it happens, really. Like, I haven't really seen the stats on it, but your characters included, enemy characters, all have a chance of dodging when shot while moving, and if this happens, they usually take less damage, so it's like 1, 2, or 3, or whatever. So now I'm giving John Aid Protocol, which is another one of the specialist abilities that you can use infinite amount of times, which just gives him 20 defense, meaning that if he gets attacked, he won't get shot. Like, well, if he gets shot, he won't take as much damage, which means he's more likely to live. But as I already said, all hostiles are clear. We just have to get the VIP out of there. So I'm hacking into this thing, and I'm looking at it, and we have a 50 tech score on Trevor. So I just try to get to the enemy protocol to increase Trevor's hack by 20, which is one of the best abilities in the game, one of the best rewards from this in the game, because that means later on you get a higher chance of getting even better rewards and stuff, so it's really good to increase your soldier's hack score, but sadly Trevor fails because his hack score is too low. So now we have the VIP, and all we have to do is make it to the safe zone and extract all soldiers. So since I've already defeated everybody on the map, I'm kind of just having everybody sprint as far as they can. Okay, I thought I was gonna make everyone sprint. I guess not with Trevor. Oh yeah, wait. Yeah. So again, everyone on the map is defeated, but I'm just being 100% careful here. And then I have everyone else just like sprint their way. When I mean everyone else, I mean the VIP. Oops, I just punched my mic. The VIP is just sprinting their way over there, and then I have Jarrett evac immediately, because he's a rookie, and if things are going south, I don't want him caught in the crossfire, since he will be, if someone's going to die, he's the one going to die. So see, like I said, that reinforcements were coming. There they are. Well, the reinforcements could come, but luckily they'll be here next turn, because as soon as that flare comes down, you have 1 turn to prepare. But we'll be able to get the VIP extracted by the time that they're here. Now, I did do something really stupid here, and you'll see it in a second, where I accidentally moved John directly onto the only way up so that the VIP couldn't get up there this turn. It doesn't end up making a huge difference, since everyone is now except for Trevor, is now in distance of just running up there and evacing immediately. So it's not like I have to worry about the troopers coming in. Oh wait, I thought they... Okay, that's what I was supposed to say. I thought they didn't land yet, but here they are. I think it's just a Advent captain, yeah, and 2 Advent troopers. Luckily, when reinforcements come, there's certain like loadouts, you could say, of reinforcements. Like this is one of the most common ones, where it's a captain and 2 soldiers, which is the one you're probably going to see the most often. So that means you can kind of start preparing for situations, but of course there are other ones, and I don't want to spoil what they are yet, because we haven't met the enemies yet, so I don't want to really say what they are. So now I have 1 turn to extract all units, which was really intense. Like, I was like, oh crap, that's not good, because even if I get the VIP out, I don't think I could get Trevor out. So I'm sending everyone in, evacuating them, because they're not the concern here. The only one I have to worry about is Trevor. What you'll notice, I started using the hotkeys to evacuate people, and so you'll just see a bunch of random button clicking and stuff like that. Like cause it's all 3 for almost everyone, but once you get to the VIP spot, it usually like switches up. So see, it's still 3 in that case. All right. Well, when I was doing it, I must have been hitting like 1 or 2 or whatever, because I was not doing it right. So we got the VIP on the Sky Ranger, the little helicopter thing, which means we've completed 2 of our 3 objectives. And now all we have to do is get Trevor here, and we complete the 3rd one. So we have 1 turn. It's pretty spooky, but I think Trevor can. Trevor barely squeezes in. Like, if he was 2 tiles back, he wouldn't have been able to make it, and we would have failed the mission. So we evac everyone. Another successful mission. We killed 7 out of 10 enemies, which the game doesn't like. Like, you get a rating for how many enemies you killed if you complete the operation. So we only completed 7 out of 10, those last 3 being those ones that came off the support. And we only got 1 person wounded, which was Trevor. So sadly, there's one mechanic in this game that's kind of, I don't like, that if a character gets wounded and then you heal them, that heal only lasts for the battle, because then right after the battle, they're still wounded, and they have to take the time off. Which, I mean, I get it. It allows for, you have to really be careful, but it's a little annoying. So now we're heading back to the Avenger, and as I said before, I'm cutting, for these first couple episodes, since I messed up the audio, I'm cutting out all the, like, behind-the-scenes stuff of, like, assigning science, assigning weapons and stuff, but I'm keeping in the, promoting. Oh, yeah, Trevor's gravely wounded. He'll be out for 11 days. But, yeah, I'm keeping in the promoting, so Jarrett became a ranger. That's a pretty good class. He has a sword, so it allows, and a shotgun, so once he gets up into the combat, like, it really starts doing the damage. Now, I chose suppression on John because that ability is usually useful. So, since it can put, it's obviously like suppress a fire, I can stop certain people from doing certain things. And as I said later on, like, a lot of these abilities don't really make 100% sense right now of what I'm getting them, because they're kind of random. But later on, they'll kind of make sense. Alright, well, that's the end of the video.